everyone, it's your favourite Atomic Blonde here, and I'm back. Yay! Seems like forever. Sorry, I've been away. I've just had crazy weekends. Last weekend I was away in Lanzarote for a Hindu, and I've just about recovered. I'm far too old for those sort of shenanigans, let me tell you. So anyway, the sun is shining. It's a bank holiday weekend. The two never happen here in the UK. So just jumping on board, do a quick Atomic Pop chat, as I'm quite behind with some of my shows to do the reviews. I'm almost up to date. I got a couple of episodes of Citadel to watch. Really enjoying Silo at the moment on Apple. I'm also kind of reading the book at the same time, so I'm slightly ahead of the show. So it's to try and get a balance, because it's always good to understand the source material. But so far so good on Silo. I'm kind of still thumbs upping that one if you want to go check it out on Apple. Ted Lasso season 3 has been a real mixed bag, and it's kind of I think the fans are liking it, the critics not so much. I think obviously a very well publicized split of Jason Sudeikis and Olivia Wilde. Obviously, whatever was going on in his personal life has massively influenced the writing in season 3. So we have lost some of that humor and that kind of upbeat Ted, and leans very heavily into the fact that he's got divorced from his wife at the end of season 2, and he's away from his son. And it's kind of really teeing it up that Ted's going to quit at the end of season 3 and go back to the States to be closer to his son. Some of the characters in it, like Keely, they sort of just threw in a storyline that she had, her and Roy had split up, and then she had a bisexual relationship, and now she's sort of friends with benefits with Roy at the moment, on the verge of getting back together. But it's almost like they had all these characters were quite well plotted out on what their storylines were, and now they just sort of seem a little bit lost, almost like Jason couldn't really focus on what he, did he want these characters to have happy relationships? It doesn't seem like it, because pretty much everybody this season's had a bit of a bumpy ride. There's a great storyline where one of the players comes out, which was lovely, and how his best friend reacts. And initially they kind of make it look like that he's ghosting him and doesn't want anything to do with him because he's gay, which actually wasn't the story at all. It's all about he was just really deeply hurt and upset that he didn't trust him or confide in him. But the way it was all done and acted out was really good and lovely to see. So this season's lost its way a little bit, which is a shame, because 1 and 2 was so solid. But hey, Jason Sudeikis is a human being, and like I say, he's been having a pretty tough time, and that's definitely showing in the writing. But I have to say, the last sort of 3 or 4 episodes, like getting towards the season finale, it's definitely rallied. It feels like the characters are kind of getting back on track, and we're seeing sort of more of that Ted Lasso humor coming through, and a bit of redemption arc for Nate. But we're getting there. But unfortunately, I think next week's is the finale. I think we've only got 10 episodes this season, because they've changed the episodes to an hour, whereas they used to be, I think, 30-40 minutes, but we had like longer seasons. So anyway, let's see how they round it out. Hopefully they land the ending, because it's rumored to be the last season, but we'll see. So Ted Lasso, another Apple, Silo, Apple, Citadel, Amazon Prime. That's the Richard Madden sort of spy who done it. It's been okay. I mean, it's only 6 episodes long. I've got 1 to go. So I've stuck with it. It's okay watching. Given how much money they're rumored to have spent on it for 6 episodes, I think it's like 300 million. You can't really see it, I have to say. But I mean, the acting's good. Like I say, it's holding my attention. I wouldn't say it's the best bit of TV I've ever seen, and it's not blown me away. And sort of rewatchability, like sort of Terminal List, probably isn't there, but it's been enjoyable. And I'll wait and see again how the last episode lands. So anyway, so this is, Atomic Pop chat rather than the reviews. And really, there seems to be only one thing to talk about. And I just realised I haven't uploaded what I wanted to show you. Bear with me a second. Oh, I can cut it out. I can cut it out. It's fine. Still boomering around. And so I thought, why don't you do live streams? This is why I don't do live streams. It's absolutely hilarious. Oh, sorry. Okay, nearly there. Let's watch the technology found while I upload something. Hey! Oh, it's not even that exciting. Disney. Of course it's Disney. I mean, every week there seems to be something in the news, something bad going on. Just everything's on fire right now. So the last few weeks, as you can see from these headlines, Disney are being sued by their investors for basically moving wooden dollars around to bolster things, to make it look like they're making money when they're not making money. We've sort of seen, release after release, Ant-Man 3 tanking, Indy 5 flopping at Cannes, really lukewarm reception there. And I was very on the fence with Indy 5. I was not optimistic that this was going to be a good film, but was still 50-50 to go see it. And really the review I've put on there, Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny, gloomy and depressing final act. Now that came from the BBC, who is the wokest of woke, as we know, when it comes to the TV right now. And the review of this basically said that Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who's a BBC darling, obviously, was insufferable in it. She absolutely ruined the film. And from what we're hearing with leaks, it's everything that pretty much everybody on YouTube predicted. It's going to be a bait and switch. Phoebe's dragging Harrison around, Indy around, and he's being pathetic, and she's having to take charge. And at the end, he's a complete, not a coward per se, but it's just given up and won't do the right thing. So she's forced to knock his lights out and take him back through time, because she, it just sounds awful. It just sounds like, Indy's this broken man, bad dad, not so much bad dad. They've killed off Mutt. Apparently he gets killed in the Vietnam War. But for as bad as the Crystal Skull was, it ended on a positive note of them getting married. But because it's Disney, right, you can't have any man being successful, being good, being a good husband, being a good father, being a hero. They seem to have undone all of that from what we're hearing. So I'm pretty much out, I have to say. I mean, within 4 weeks, it's going to be on Disney Plus anyway. I mean, depending on what, some people, actual people, like some YouTubers and people I stream with, depending on what they say, I might give it a go. But if they pretty much affirm what we're hearing, there's no way I'm wasting my money to go see this at the cinema. And it's a difficult one, because you don't want to see these IPs that you love fail, but most of them are in the toilet now, and it kind of needs to happen. You kind of need this regime to come crashing down. If this doesn't get KK fired, nothing will. She knows where the bodies are buried. That just proves it. If she doesn't get ousted, if Indy flops, which all indications are that it will, given its lackluster response at Cannes. There's not a lot of news coming out, especially about Phoebe Waller-Bridge, which we all, soon as she was associated with this movie, all hopes of it being good went out the window for pretty much everybody. So another IP that's being destroyed by KK. Little Mermaid, 54% audience score. Again, very lukewarm. I don't think it's initial figures. I don't think it's completely tanking. Not unsurprisingly, not gone down well in China, as Disney yet again tried to hide the color of the lead. Such hypocrites. And I kind of feel sorry for the girl. You know, she's hired to do a job. For all accounts, she can sing, but she can't act. You know, they just need to get an infusion of new blood, decent writers, and just leave the politics at the door. You know, apparently they've stripped out anything about Eric being a hero, about them really falling in love. Again, I don't need no man. It's all coming through from all the box wine mum drinkers because, you know, they can't find a husband or whatever. Same old, same old. Then we look at Star Wars. Obviously, Mando 3 crashed and burned. I mean, it was a terribly written season. It didn't build on anything that came out of season 2. The 2 abridged episodes that we got in Boba Fett completely undone. That's pretty much the story of seasons 1 and 2. And not unsurprisingly, so the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, which from the moment it opened, everybody knew was a complete turkey for $6,000, has closed. It has been hemorrhaging cash. You know, no one's interested in going to see Rey and Kylo Ren. I mean, I remember when they started talking about building this Star Wars world at Disney World, and having been to Disney World when they had the original Star Tours, and I had like the little mini Endor and the walkers and the speeders you could go on. They do the shows. It was brilliant. And you sort of see the drawings. And again, they were going to have Endor. They were going to have Hoth. They were going to have Tatooine. And it looked absolutely amazing. And like me and my friends, and this was probably about 5 years ago, maybe a bit longer. But we were all like, we have got to go. We don't care how much it costs. We have got to go. And then KK again put a nose in. Oh, we're going to make it all about the sequel trilogy that nobody likes. Galaxy's Edge came out. Great, it's got the Falcon, but it's the Falcon from the sequel trilogy. And then gradually it's dwindled to nothing. So again, like I say, I mean, Star Wars is one of my absolute, you know, treasured memories as a kid, going to see it at Dominion Theatre in London. I was very, very young. So, but probably one of my first memories. So I've probably only been about 4 years old when it came out. And then going to see Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi at the cinema as well. So sort of say it's up there with Raiders of the Lost Ark, same sort of time, Harrison Ford. You know, these are really sort of precious childhood memories of that complete escapism and going and seeing these films and loving them. And the first time that they came out on video, like affordably, and you could buy it and own it, it just blew your tiny mind. And it's completely in the toilet. And it's absolutely heartbreaking to see this. But again, like I say, I think whatever these things where it goes down a certain path, you know, until it hits absolute rock bottom, they're not going to change. And even now we're still seeing them kind of doubling down on things. And, you know, Star Wars Celebration announcing a Rey movie. Who wants a Rey movie? I mean, oh, but we might bring Anakin and Mark Hamill back as Force ghosts. Luke Skywalker's character has been absolutely obliterated. You know, we wanted to see Luke Jedi Master in his prime and, you know, training the Jedi and building up again, not some sad old fart drinking green milk, you know, feeling sorry for himself. So, and the thing is that, you know, oh, Force Ghost, like that is just jangling keys in our face. We're like, so what? We don't, who wants to see that version of Luke? Nobody. And it just goes on and on. Also, you know, we've got this quote here for Phase 5. They're like, this is it. This is our way forward. We lost our varsity hero team. I mean, we lost our varsity hero team, you know, the Avengers. No, you murdered them all. You killed them all off because you wanted the MCU. You didn't lose them. It wasn't like the actors sort of said, yeah, I mean, maybe apart from like sort of Robert Downey, but, you know, they systematically and consciously chose to get rid of all their male superheroes in favor of the MCU. So to say we've lost our varsity heroes, please. But let's set up around this guy Kang and this performer that so many people are reacting to. I don't think anybody particularly reacted to him. They got, I mean, Loki was ridiculous and just destroyed the MCU, and he was all right in it, but very hammy. Didn't even bother watching Ant-Man and Quantumania or whatever it is, because that just looked painfully dire, and from what I've heard, it absolutely is. There's nothing particularly special about this guy. He wasn't amazing. No one was particularly. The only people who seem to be raving about him were people from Marvel. Surprise, surprise, sicko fan world. The guy who played the bad guy in Guardians of the Galaxy was far better. Such a better actor. Had more charisma. Now, you know, if you want to recast Kang, somehow, you know, get him in and say he's a variant of Kang. You could easily do that in his crappy multiverse. But this guy wasn't that great anyway. But obviously everything that's gone on with these charges, and again, I don't agree with people being dropped and fired, you know, before he's even been found guilty or not guilty. That's a separate issue. But the hits just keep coming for Disney, and I think the very telling thing is everybody's just kind of laughing while Rome burns. Disney is, and you know, whether it's Lucasfilm, whether that's Disney Marvel, have just treated the fans so appallingly. Every time they just dish out a dose of crap, we just get, well, it's because you're all bigots that you don't like it. Not actually just saying, actually, what you're giving us is shit. Shit in, shit out. And, you know, people just aren't turning up for the openings anymore. We've seen that with Guardians. Now, if you go check out my Guardians review on here, I said, personally, I don't think the opening will be huge, not in MCU standards, but I think it will actually hold its own for a few weeks once word of mouth gets out that it's actually good. And that's exactly what we've seen. But I wasn't expecting a massive opening, but then we're going to go, oh, it's going to have a 70% drop off in the second week. And it didn't. You know, I think it held sort of around 50% or even in the 40s, which is exactly what I said. You know, again, not the best Guardians film, not the best Marvel film, but certainly the best thing we've had since Endgame. And you think how many films we've had since Endgame. And we know we're not going to get another one like that. And spoiler, in case you haven't seen it, so close your ears. The end credit scene is basically Star-Lord will be back. Not the Guardians, but Star-Lord. And that in itself makes me nervous, because I think if you haven't got James Gunn writing that character, it can go off the rails really quickly. And my gut feel is with Marvel and how it is that, you know, they're just going to make him a complete doofus. And, you know, Star-Lord was always a little bit, you know, but he, at the end of the day, he was brave. He wasn't stupid, but, you know, he was a little bit, but I can just see them making him a complete himbo. You know, ends up saving people by accident kind of nonsense. So I actually would be happier if this was actually the sort of the end and they all go off into the sunset and do their own thing, rather than saying that Star-Lord will be back without James Gunn overseeing that. And if I was Chris Pratt, depends on his contract, and maybe he's got to make another film or whatever. But if it wasn't in his contract, if I was him, I'd walk away right now and knock on James Gunn's door and say, hey, anything in the DC universe for me? But saying that, you know, he's doing the follow-up to Terminal List season 2, which was fantastic. Can't recommend that enough. And to be fair, I was really taken aback, because actually you see what a good actor Chris Pratt is. He really does have some acting chops that you say you don't necessarily see. In Guardians 3, when Rocket's injured, again, you see how good his acting can be. But yeah, if I was him, I'd walk away. And what we're hearing is that, you know, they're trying to course correct for phase 5, 6. But actors and directors just aren't signing up. They've especially, I mean, directors have heard the horror stories of having to direct a Marvel movie, that they basically have no say anymore. They don't even necessarily direct the whole film. There's far too much interference from the studio and Feige. So, I mean, and we've even seen, like, you know, good directors in, like, Rob Rodriguez directing Mando, and it's like, but you know, even his directorial ability is completely, you know, chopped off at the knees. Sam Raimi, you know, even people you know that have got good pedigree and can direct are producing crap under this banner. So that speaks volumes. And like I say, we don't know which actors they've approached, but you know, I'm pretty sure there's some A-listers that they need to get some, you know, A-listers, certainly A or B, back in this universe, and everybody's going, no, thank you. Where people would like be chomping at the bit to get on a Marvel film because it's guaranteed success and, you know, positive reviews for them. Now they're like getting to that point where you don't want to touch it with a barge pole. Like, do you really want to be associated with phase 5, you know, where it is? I mean, they'd be better off just ending this at phase 5, taking 5 years off, and then come back and reset the universe. That's the best thing they can do, I think. We're all just too burnt with bad Marvel, and I don't think Guardians will buy any goodwill. I think people know that's James Gunn. They know it's kind of his swan song. Easy for me to say. For Marvel, we are not going to get that type of film again out of Marvel under its current regime, with its current writers and its current agenda. I just don't see how Disney are going to turn this around. Iger started the problem in the first place. It's kind of good, actually, that he's been brought in to clear up his own mess. But I think the rot is too deep in Disney. You get rid of, like, even like, get rid of KK, get rid of some of the, even Iger, or some of the, you know, these studio heads, Feige, all their minions are there. They all breathe the same ideology nonsense. You really would need to gut Disney and start again in all the channels, Pixar, Lucasfilm, Marvel. I think what's more likely to happen is they'll sell off Lucasfilm and Marvel to someone to try and recuperate some costs and go back to focusing on animation and kids films. But even that, which is basically their forte, their triumph, you know, Pixar's failing again because of the material they're making. And say just doing live remakes, as we've seen with The Little Mermaid, where they just rip out the guts of what the story was. They've done exactly the same with Peter Pan and Wendy, completely missing the point of what the original was saying. Just ripped all the love and the guts out of it. That people, because as much as these are kids' films, it's the parents that take the kids, and if the parent has a love and affiliation for one of these things, they will take their children. So again, as much as, you know, we're always getting, oh, this isn't made for you, like Star Wars. We don't want these 40, 50-year-old fans who saw it originally. It's us that introduces it to our kids and then their kids. And, you know, it's passed down. That's why after 40, 45 years, these films are still popular. This franchise is still popular because the love that we have is passed down. And same with Star Trek. That's why, the films you love, you show your kids, and it's how it's always been. So I don't understand why these corporations just don't understand it. But then it all goes with the ideology that, you know, parents shouldn't have a say in their kids' lives. You know, it should be the government and the state that decides what's best for your children. All very iffy ideologies. So yeah, I mean, that's Disney burning like a good one. Get your marshmallows and your s'mores out. And continue to watch it burn. Like I say, I really don't know how they're going to turn this around without absolutely gutting Disney. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately. And just looking at the slate of things coming up rest of this year, there's really not much I want to go see. The only thing I'm really excited about is Dune Part 2 in November. Cannot wait for that. You can see my that way. My little June poster there. Because I mean, I love the books. I've read all the books, and it was such a great adaptation from Villeneuve in Part 1. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, which is fine, but I'm really, really excited to go see that at the cinema. Hopefully, I mean, my only, Shani's role is a lot bigger in the second half of the book, and her relationship with Paul. Zendaya, I haven't really seen her enough to know if she's got the acting chops for that. She was a lot better in No Way Home. But I don't know if that's because at that point, she was in a relationship with Tom Holland, so the chemistry was there. We could see it on the screen, and that's why the performance was so much better. I don't know, or whether just an actually uplift in script and direction brought out again better acting from her. So I think that's probably my only reservation. But Villeneuve does seem to attract and hire talent. So for such a pivotal role, I'd be really surprised if he picked the wrong person. But time will tell. But that is my number one. I cannot wait to go see that. More lightheartedly, obviously, the Mission Impossible Part 1, Mission Impossible 7 Part 1. They're always great fun and a good romp. And Tom Cruise seems to be the only person that can make films that people actually want to go see right now. So that would be good. And we've got the sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now, the fact that's come around so quickly and they've churned it out so fast, it's filming here in the UK at the moment. Who knows where that will go? Personally, I really enjoyed Afterlife. I know not everybody liked it, but I thought it was the perfect bridge between the old films and the new films. And I think if you didn't have that bridge that kind of addressed the old Ghostbusters and what happened, and it sort of jumped straight to potentially where we're going, I'm not sure how successful that jump will be. So I personally think they did the right thing, kind of doing that bridging film, and this really gives them now the springboard to sort of take it in other directions, which I think they need to. But yeah, excited for that. Obviously, no Ivan Reitman to advise, unfortunately, but hopefully his son, I think, who's a producer on it, I know he's not directing this one, will still have enough influence to keep it feeling like the Ghostbusters universe, even though it needs to be something slightly different now. But yeah, I'm excited for that. Hopefully it's good. What else have we got? I think that's pretty much it that I want to go to the cinema to see. Everything else is pretty much no interest at all, or I can just wait until it comes onto streaming, which I think that's the problem most people are these days. I mean, the cinema is not cheap anymore. And if you've got a family, you're really going to go spend 50, 60 pounds on going to watch these turkeys? I don't think so. So interesting with the writer's strike. There's lots of things being put on hold. Now, this might be the one thing that actually helps whittle out some of this crap and this, I won't say dead wood, but that's, people who have they have outstayed their welcome. But, someone who's been in the industry for 20 years and doesn't know when to walk away, these people never should have got there in the blooming first place. So it'd be interesting to see how this plays out. Asking for more money when you're producing less material. Seasons used to be in America between 20 and 26 episodes. Now they've got to write 8 to 10. I say Citadel was only 6, and they want more money. And there's some very valid stuff in there that they're asking, around the AI. But the fact that they're so nervous about AI, actually, for me, they know that the quality's not there. They know they're not performing how they should be. And I think what we're all hoping it really does is force the streaming services to release their numbers. They have to tell the showrunners, they have to tell us whether something's doing well or not. Because that way, because this is part of the reason why the writers are pushing for more money, understandably, because they're sitting there going, well, you're telling us this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, you know, that's got X amount, 100 million views or whatever it's got. Why aren't I getting more money? Because is it maybe that they're lying? Surely not. Who knows? Talking of streaming services, today I got my email through from Netflix. They're officially password sharing here in the UK. I really don't know how this is going to go down. I don't think it's gone down particularly well in America. I have to say right now, my Netflix is probably the least watch of the streaming services I have right now, and that never used to be the case. I probably watch Paramount Plus more at the moment. I've been watching Paramount Plus. Obviously, I love my Apple. Not much on Prime at the moment, but you know, I always feel like I don't pay for that per se, because I pay for Prime for my delivery, and they know that. That's why people have it regardless of the TV part of the subscription. So yeah, I mean, when has it ever gone well when a company has done a 360 on their USP? The whole thing with this is that, hey, it's you know, share your passwords. It's, you know, I can't remember what the strapline was, but was it love to share? Netflix loves to share or something like that. That was a whole marketing shtick, and you know, parents would pay for the top tier so they could give their kids at college and whatnot a login and all of those kind of things. You know, it's just not going to happen. And right now, there's not enough quality on Netflix. There's like I say, a handful of good shows. Really enjoyed The Night Agent. Really enjoyed The Diplomat. Go check that out. I'll do a bit more on The Diplomat when I've got time to do a proper review. Obviously, Stranger Things, but that's been put on hold with the writer's strike. So who knows when we're going to get Stranger Things 5? It'll probably end up being a year delayed at this rate. I love, as you know, my K-dramas, but they're not all brilliant. You know, they're quite hit and miss, and they seem to be putting most of their money into acquiring more K-dramas or European content, which again is fine, but not everybody, you know, likes subtitles. Not everybody can even watch things that are dubbed. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And I think Netflix is kind of really sort of floundering. You know, they kind of threw their colours to the mast with a lot of woke and intersectional programming, which has absolutely died on its arse. And now most, if not all, has been cancelled, and there's really not a lot to replace it. So, you know, unless there's some, you know, there's a few things on the horizon. I say I've mainly got it for my K-dramas, but, you know, Amazon's starting to get their share. They've got one called The Island, which is great. I really recommend that. That's good fun. And, you know, some of the other channels are starting to get the K-dramas as well. They're not exclusive sort of to Netflix now. So I think unless Netflix does something quite radical, I'm not sure I'm going to have that subscription for much longer. I really don't need my Disney Plus subscription. It's handy, you know, when you get a loose end, like when I was on the plane last weekend, I sort of just downloaded a few things, you know, like some good Marvel films, and but even then I had Top Gun Maverick, which is Paramount, The Matrix, and a few other bits and pieces that aren't Disney. And I'm like, other than Secret Invasion, I'm really not bothered about anything on Disney. So I think they probably get rid of both the Netflix and Disney, keep my Paramount, keep my my Amazon and my Apple, you know. So it's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out. I think at some point we're just going to have Amazon and Apple, and they will acquire everything else, or the things will amalgamate, or it'll go back to how it used to be, that everybody just sells their content to everybody because that's the only way they can make money. You know, or they introduce more advertising, which is really annoying, especially when you can't fast forward for it, as we all know. So who knows where this is all going to end up. But I think this password sharing, or lack thereof, is really going to bite Netflix in the butt. So, and just a little whinge from me. I know, who'd have thought? Oh, if anybody's seen my Twitter, do not, under any circumstances, use Zavvi. We don't have a lot of options here in the UK for buying physical media. You've pretty much got Amazon, you've got HMV online, and you've got Zavvi. That's it. I mean, obviously you can go to some of these places direct, but we don't have a lot of options. Obviously, you've got like eBay. I think over the last year, there's several like steel books that I've ordered, ends up being cancelled. Sorry, we can't fulfill this order, by which point it's sold out everywhere else. So I can't get the steel book. So then I end up just getting the ordinary 4K, which is fine, you know, but the whole point is I wanted the steel book or I wanted the limited edition, as with like the fog. Just ends up, yeah, sorry, out of stock, took too many orders, great. The one I'm absolutely fuming about at the moment, because it's quite a lot of money. So back in March 2021, I pre-ordered this little booty. Look at this bad boy, okay? The Justice League, Black Suit, Superman, and Nightmare Batman. Absolutely. So this is Hot Toys. Anybody who watches R&B and Az and Justin will know these lovely, lovely things. You can really see it's a bit too much reflection, but I'm just about to sort of see that. Absolutely amazeballs. I need to do my proper unboxing and get this bad boy set up. So I pre-ordered this, as I said, back in 2021. Now, as we all know, the whole point of a pre-order, you put your money down, it guarantees you said product. Unless, of course, you go through Zavvi. So it was released. So again, I paid, and that was like £500. It's a lot of money. And you might go, well, you're an idiot. And I know, but hey. So, so it came out in around September 2022, because it always takes about a year for these things to come out, as you can see from the quality of the sculptures. So I sort of kept checking it, and it's coming in stock, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. Gets to January this year. So March 2021, put my deposit down for pre-order. I've paid off the figure by this point as well. I've done it in installments, all paid for, just waiting for the product. Comes out September 2022. January 2023, I still don't have my figures. So contact Zavvi saying, yeah, we're just waiting for a batch to come in, should be in March. Okay. By this point, I'm going, well, hang on, surely that's then the second issue. I paid for the first issue. Not happy about this. Gets to March. Then it's April. Gets to April. Go, but where is this? Yeah. We're chasing it for you. We've got a priority order in. Okay. Gets to May. Where's my figure? Sorry, we can't fulfill this. We're out of stock. I was like, so what? But I've paid for it. I guaranteed it. Yeah, it's out of stock. We can carry on trying to get you one, or we can cancel the order and give you your money back. So go on Toys Wonderland, have a little look. Right, they got one on Toys Wonderland. Now £200 cheaper than what I paid for it, because we're on like second or third edition or something. I'm like, fine, I just want the bloody thing. So I say, cancel it. Just cancel it, send me my money. So nearly a month later, on the 28th of May, I am still trying to get this order cancelled and trying to get my money back. So I've been on Toys Wonderland, and for those who don't know, I think it's in Hong Kong or Australia. I think it's Hong Kong. So within a week, I went on, paid for it, and got it shipped to me within a week from Hong Kong. 1 week it's taken for me to get that. Where I've been waiting since September 2022 for Zavvi. I have tweeted them. I have phoned them. I have emailed them. And every time we go, yeah, we're going to cancel your order and we're going to refund you. Then actually they said, oh, well, there's nothing to refund you because it wasn't dispatched, so we haven't taken any money. To which I go, I had a payment plan. You have my money. I have no money and no product. I want my money back. Okay, we'll look into that for you. So every single day I go on and I go, yeah, we'll cancel it. You should get your refund in 3 to 5 days. Give it 2 or 3 days. Still shows as processing. So I have now gone online. I've found some complaints people you can escalate to. I can hear my phone buzzing because I'm DMing, Twittering bloody Xavi again to say, just give me my money back, because I'm getting really, really annoyed. And obviously through my posts on Twitter, so many people have gone, yeah, don't touch Xavi. You never get your products. You can't cancel stuff. They won't refund. I mean, for those who don't know, it used to be Virgin Records, the Virgin Megastore. Then it got sold and became Xavi. It went into administration in 2008 and was bought out by the Hut Group. I am not surprised it went into administration in 2008. And if this is anything to go by, they're going to go into administration soon again. Hence why probably I'm not getting my money back, because they're probably making quite a nice little bit of interest on all of our pre-orders and things that they've taken from us. So yeah, so that's my rant. Do not use Xavi, whatever you do, because you won't get your product and you'll be lucky if you get your money back as well. But I do at least have my figures. Even if I'm 500, well, actually, I'm 5, 6, 7, I'm about £800 out of pocket right now because I haven't had my money back to pay for that. But I will continue. I will continue moaning and complaining and hassling them until I get my money back. And I will let you know when that happens. I'll probably be close to retirement by that point. But hey, so you have been warned. Go to Xavi at your peril. So that's it. That's it for my pop chat, my pop rant, my pop moan. Lovely to be back. Hopefully, I'll get back on top of all my shows and start doing some reviews again. Sunday lunch will be back, hopefully. Or maybe you prefer this format. I don't know. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you prefer. Do you like my Sunday lunches where I'm doing reviews, or do you prefer the pop chats? Do you like them separate? Would you prefer them together? Let me know. Happy to flex and change and try new things and change it up. And most importantly, hopefully I can get some live shows going again. I think I only done 3 before the world imploded. But anyway, have a fantastic bank holiday for those in the UK and enjoy this sunshine. Who knows how long it's going to last. You know, generally if we get like 5 days, that's it. It's summer. We've had summer and we're up to probably our 3rd day of sunshine. So who knows? As always, please do like, comment, share. It does really help the channel. I've kind of plateaued a little bit on subscription, so probably I need to change it up and get live streaming. So your feedback is really important. I'd love to know what you think. Yeah, so I'm off to go enjoy the sunshine and the bank holiday. You have fun. Have a great week. And I'll see you soon.